And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Good morning, folks. I'm Darren, and welcome to 8th Day Chronicles here at Cross Timbers Farm. Glad to have you with us today. Our hay struggles continue. You ever done something, get involved in whatever, and you feel like you're playing against a stacked deck? I'm telling you, the last couple of years of our hay endeavors, to say it's been a struggle is an understatement. Been letting the tractor warm up a few minutes, get up to about operating temperature. I'm gonna have to hold on to my hat, it's so windy. I may have to change out hats for something that's got a brim on it to keep the wind from blowing it off my head. Super windy here today. Good grief. A front of some kind is apparently moving through or getting ready to. Let me start from the beginning. We cut this hay on Monday. Today's Wednesday morning. Cut it Monday midday, tedded it out Monday evening. Come out here yesterday, tedded it out yesterday mid-morning or midday. Everything looking really good. Went back to our house to do some chores around, picked up my phone, looked at the forecast, because the forecast is important when you got hay on the ground. Looked at my forecast, and the forecast for Tuesday, Monday, it said like 22%, somewhere in that range. Looked at it yesterday, about midday, and it was up to like 90%. And I noticed, the one reason I picked my phone up and looked at my forecast, because I could tell that it was starting to get a little breezy yesterday, and it was getting really overcast, kind of lower looking clouds coming in, and I thought, uh-oh. And I looked at the forecast, 90% from 22 the day before for Tuesday to Tuesday midday, 90%. And it thundered and got dark all afternoon. No rain. Well, about 6 p.m. it started raining. And you saw in the beginning clip, the rain gauge, we got almost 1/4 of an inch. I just sit on our porch and looked out over the field and watched it rain on my fresh cut hay. I'm telling you, we've been on the struggle bus because of weather for 2 years at least. Starting out with Hurricane Helene, and this year our first cut got rained on very lightly. It was only like 10 to 15ths of an inch. I'm going to hold on to my hat. The wind's so bad. Of amount of rain. So it didn't hurt it that bad, but we still had to spend more time and more money and fuel tedding that hay out, tedding it out, get it back dry. And it did leach some of the nutrients and micronutrients out of it and the color out of it, to the point we had to sell it at a discount. And our first second cut of 2026, it's rained on it yesterday evening. Thank goodness it was yesterday evening, one day after we cut it and not the day before it was ready to bale. So I went out here in the field a few minutes ago and I picked up one little spot. It's super, super windy today. Very little sun, which the sun will really help dry this out. But it is super, super windy today. I mean, downright windy. It's not breezy, it's windy. And the wind's helping dry out the surface at the top of the hay. I picked up a big clump of hay here just feet from me a minute ago. Picked it up. The top's getting pretty dry from this wind. Underneath of it is soaked. I mean soaked. So we need to ted this really bad. Get it flipped around. And I have found out this field is on top of a hill. And I've tedded this field before in windy conditions. And you could see the hay go out the back of that tedder and the wind catch it and blow it plumb down the hill. I mean, up here toward the top of the hill, there was hardly no hay left. And you went to the bottom and the wind had blew it so bad that way, it was piled up waist deep all down in there. A disaster. So this needs kicked really, really bad. I mean, this is when a hay tedder is invaluable. But the wind. So because of this high wind, I'm going to have to go through this and ted it very, very slow. Just barely stirring it. Because if I kick it, the wind's going to catch it and it's going to be gone. I'm going to have to just run that tedder through it and those baskets barely turning just to stir it. Because if I kick it, it's going to blow away. So, and I may go 50 yards with the tedder and it still start blowing it. If it does, I'll just quit. And hopefully, it's about 11 a.m. now. Hopefully by 2 or 3 o'clock, the wind will at least lay down some to where I can ted it. We'll just see. But I'm going to attempt right now just to run the tedder through it really, really slow so I don't get blowaway hay, but enough to stir it to get some of that that's on the bottom kind of stirred up so it can dry. We got almost 1/4 of an inch of rain yesterday evening, and I ain't even looked at the forecast this morning since about 6 a.m. this morning. So I'll just do it while y'all are watching. Okay, daily forecast. Today, mostly sunny. A stray shower is possible. High 82, winds 5 to 10. Well, the wind right now is about 35, 40 miles an hour. Can you hear it? Look at these trees. These trees are just swaying in the wind. 20% chance of rain today. 24% chance tomorrow, 24 the following day, and then on Saturday it jumps up to 53%. So 20% chance of rain today with a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind. We hope that 20% chance of rain holds true. That may be accurate, it may not. It does say a stray shower is possible. And it says winds out of the northwest 5 to 10. Well, Mr. Weatherman, I hate to tell you this, but the winds are out of the northwest right now, but they're about 35 to 40. It's unreal. All right, we're going to get started. We're going to see if we can kick this slowly. I shouldn't say kick it. We're not kicking it. We're just going to stir it. Stir it very lightly, and I'm only going to go about 50 yards and keep a close eye on it. If the wind starts blowing it, I'll stop. I don't want to deal again with wind blowing all the hay down the hill. That time that happened, that was a disaster. Let's see if we can get this at least stirred. Before we get started, let's just right here randomly pick up some hay. Wow, the top is dry. The underneath is soaking wet. Look at that. I know you ain't gonna be able to tell on the camera, but goodness gracious, soaking wet. And you know what that means? That means the ground under it, look at this. I don't know if tedding this is gonna work. Look at that. I don't know if tedding it's gonna work because the ground under it's wet too. I mean, let's try it. Wind blowing it. If you could see that. I don't know if that GoPro really captured that I had mounted on the back of the tractor aimed at the tedder. I don't know how many times. And I was tedding that as slow as I could run that tedder without stalling the tractor. Slow, slow, slow. Even at that slow speed, I think that's the slowest I've ever tedded. And when I say slow, I'm talking about those baskets turning. I think that's about as slow as I've ever tedded. Our ground is sloped, uphill, down here. There's hardly any level ground here, very, very little. And we do fine going off the hill to let off the gas, just let the idle go. But when you start back uphill, you have to give the tractor some gas on the pedal or it'll stall. So, and when you give it gas to bring your RPMs up a little bit to go back up the hill, naturally that starts your PTO spinning faster and the basket spin a little faster. That's the best you can do in a gear drive tractor like we have. We kicked it as slow and as easy as we possibly could, and the wind still caught bunches of it. I don't know if the GoPro captured it, but if it drifted out of the field of view of that camera. But man, I don't know how many times I've seen hay just going in the wind. You know, just like a feather in the wind. Just, shoo, that hay was just gone, plumb down into the woods somewhere. Some of it. How did it do? I don't know. Let's look. I'm gonna get right down on my knees here, bring the camera with me. Let's just look at it here. It's wet. Man, the ground is damp. It's gonna have a hard time. Whatever's on that bottom is gonna have a hard time drying because the ground's wet. It's damp feeling. With this wind, the wind is our friend for drying. It's not our friend for kicking it. Man, I just don't know. Wet, wet. I don't know. And we got some clouds coming from the northwest that don't look good. No sun. All we got some wind in our favor for dry down. The struggle's real. Man, it's wet. I'm kind of at a loss for words here. You know, I always try to look at things as the glass is half full, not half empty. And we got so much to be thankful for, our health. Just the health to get out here and do this. There's folks that's quadriplegic. We have Army veterans, or I shouldn't say just Army, Marine, Navy, Air Force. We have veterans that lost limbs and everything else, defending our freedoms. And I've got a really, really good friend. It's a Vietnam veteran. And he was not support staff or nothing like that. He was in the middle of the worst of the worst. And he has the best attitude of anybody I ever seen. He is always positive. The glass is always half full, even with his limitations. Now, he still can get out and do some things, not much. But his attitude is inspiring. And I try to be more like him each day. And try to be a good Christian and count my blessings. And when something like this happens, just it's in your mind, your mindset. Look at it from the positive side. When you just keep getting gut punched and gut punched, it starts getting old. I'll admit it, I'm human. And it's easy to get down over this stuff. To the point that not long ago, well, I'll just say this. Yesterday, I was sitting on the porch watching it pour the rain on our hay. And Susan come out of the house and brought me a cup of coffee. She is a wonderful human being. Brought me a cup of coffee. And we were sitting there drinking coffee, watching it pour the rain on our fresh cut hay. And I looked at Susan and I said, I'm about this far from selling my hay equipment. Just putting it all up for sale. And all of our hay fields, just turning them every single one into pasture. And let's just raise livestock and forget this hay. And then she said, Darren, we will never be able to go buy hay like we want it in the packages we like, those small 2x2 round bales, and get the quality that we get from in this area for what we get off our field. If you don't want to deal with the public and selling hay anymore, just bale what we need only. The hay equipment's already here. It ain't like we're in debt over it. And it's here. It's not costing anything to sit in the barn. And cut hay when we can, and when we can't, don't worry about it. And she was right. So, we're going to take it for what it is. Hopefully we can make some decent hay out of this for our sheep. for this coming winter. It's like an old friend of mine said one time, during the middle of winter when it's blowing that blue snow completely sideways and 40-mile-an-hour winds and it 10 degrees, any hay's better than a snowball. Well, it's Thursday morning. It's about 10 a.m. and we got rain again last night. Woke up this morning and seen the back deck on our house was wet. The driveway was wet. Last night when we came out to the barn to feed chickens and the livestock guardian dogs and things of that nature, I walked out here in the hayfield after we tedded it yesterday, and I got out and flipped over by hand some of the heavier hay, flipped it all around. And yesterday evening, this hay was just about back dry. Well, it was basically, it was back on its way to drying back down. And yesterday, the forecast for today was like 23%, something like that. And I went to bed last night and woke up this morning. Susan said she woke up about 1:30 a.m. to thunder and lightning. It woke her up. It didn't me. So when I got up this morning and looked out the window, I just shook my head. Rained on our hay for the second time. After yesterday, tedding it real slow, we about got it back dry. No wind today. It's completely calm. But I'm gonna walk right over here in a place of this hay and pick some of it up. Okay, look at the top. Okay, look underneath it. I know the camera's not gonna show it, but sopping wet. I mean, just sopping wet. And where I picked it up here, ground under it, sopping wet. I mean, just sopping wet. You ever felt like you was just playing against a stacked deck? Wow. Well, decisions. No sun yet today, and the forecast says partly sunny. I'm not gonna make a decision yet. I need to let the top of this get dry, and if we don't get some sun today, it's not going to. But I'll give it a little while and see if the sun comes out and starts drying all this hay off on the, middle to top. And if it does, then I'll try to ted it again. Get it stirred around, flipped around, and we'll go from there. If the sun don't come out, I'd say it's done. I don't know what to say. It just seems like you take one step up and you get kicked in the teeth 3 steps back down. I don't know. The weather, and I may be a conspiracy theorist here, I just don't know. But it seems like ever since Hurricane Helene, our weather system's changed here. It's like something is just not like it used to be. I don't know if it's the El Nino or the La Nina or whatever you want to call all that stuff. I'm not a meteorologist. Although Fernando is, maybe I need to ask him. something in our weather patterns has just changed. It either goes from drought to rain every day, then back to drought and rain every day. You know, I'm talking months apart. It's made quality hay production in this area about impossible. And there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. That is some of the best looking hay we've ever cut on this field, on our farm. And it may be going to waste. It may just be food for the soil, I guess. One way to look at it. I'll be back with you in a little while. We'll see if the sun comes out. I'm standing here in the eave of the barn, listening to the rain on the tin roof. I'd say this hay's done for. The first rain we got on it, I think we were well on our way to recovering from that. The rain last night and today, this is the third shower it's been on this hay. I just don't know if we'll recover from this one, for this field. It may be done. I'll be back with you in a little bit. Let you know if it keeps pouring the rain or if it quits or what we're gonna do about this hay. More than likely, probably in the next day or two, there'll be a bunch of sheep on it. Sun's out for a few minutes. I'm back with you. It's been about 3 hours since the last time I filmed. And it poured the rain just a little while ago. Maybe an hour and a half ago. It really rained. You saw the rain in the last clips. Well, when I shut the camera off and it was still kind of a light rain, about 10 minutes later it absolutely started downpouring. The sun's out now. I went in the shop and worked for a couple hours, done a few things, licked my wounds over this hay. You know, it's easy to get feeling down about stuff. This hay's just a speed bump in the road of life. You know, you just do the best you can do and keep going. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. The glass is half full, not half empty. This hay's wet, wet, wet. I'm still going to do my best to try to salvage it. It's for our own use. It's not for sale. I don't care if the color washes out of it. Things of that nature. Some of the nutrients, micronutrients. Like I said earlier, it's going to be better than a snowball in January when it's 5 degrees out and the sheep need something because there's 12 inches of snow on the ground. It'll be something. Might have to supplement it a little bit with some, go buy maybe 3 or 4 bales of alfalfa and just put a little bit in with it to supplement it to bring the nutritional value up or something. But like I said, it'd be better than a snowball. I'm gonna step right here off the camera just a little bit and pick it up. My goodness, is it wet, wet, wet. Look at that. I mean, sopping wet, and the ground is sopping wet under it. So the sun will stay out here a few minutes, about another hour, and get the top kind of dry. I'm gonna kick it slow again. I'm not gonna kick it hard, but I'll kick it. I won't have to kick it as slow as I did yesterday because of the wind, because there is no wind. It's very calm, and I can kick it medium speed. And there's no need to kick it hard. All I really need to do is just get it stirred. So I'll try it. Keep trying till there's nothing left to try. It's been about 20 minutes since the last clip. And I thought, you know, waiting on some sun to get on, stay on the hay, I'd go work on a fence section, a little section needed a little bit of attention. And it's been about 20 minutes and it's raining again. You can't make this stuff up. Maybe it literally just started and it's just a very light drizzle. Well, it's a little bigger than a drizzle, but it's not heavy rain. Maybe it's going by in a few minutes. I don't know. Back here to the north, there's some pretty bad looking clouds that way. I heard it coming across the mountain. Grabbed my tools and put them up, and by the time I got here to the barn, it was raining. Look at the rain coming over that mountain. Wow, here it comes. Well, it's still drizzling rain. It's a very light rain right at the moment. But it's getting on up later in the evening and there's gonna be no use to do anything to this hay today. We'll just cross our fingers and pray for some sunshine tomorrow and ted it 2 and 3 times tomorrow if the weather allows. We'll end this video here and I'll bring you back on this rained on hay saga. Thanks for being with us. I really appreciate it, and I pray God blesses you and your family, and we pray y'all have a fantastic day.